business. It's the customers or your employees. Those are the only two things. People like to think it's money, but the only two things that actually include the business is the customer and your employees. And so what we do is, a lot of people want to start up businesses, but because they don't have the skills, we then train them on technical skills. So the technical skills range from coding. And when it's coding, again, building websites or trying to build mobile apps or whatever the case may be, we give those skills. So then it ranges from you learning how to code HTML or higher languages like Python, Ruby, and all of those other things. Now, we also then decided giving people the business skills, which is how to pitch your business. And usually what you see is somebody might have an idea, but really don't know how to put it together. So we then train people to then do that. But on the creative side, again, that is storytelling. So marketing, branding, and everything else, how to then put all of that together to then sell your idea. Now, when we were doing that, we realized that, again, there's a gap in the market when it comes to women, both in the technical and the creative industry. So we shifted a lot of our resources into training women in tech, and funny enough, we're able to then work with government to then design a lot of women in tech and girls coding programs. So now you see a lot of that in Ghana. Currently, we're also working with the government on policy, because again, we believe the government's place in business is policy, right? But for some reason, we have government that now is doing implementation. So we are working with them to move back into policy. And so we are working on the Ghana Startup Act, but we are playing around with the idea of putting innovation into the act. So then why is that relevant for you? Again, I think the previous speaker talked about how investment works, where you see a lot of people taking money out of the country. They will go to Dubai, invest in buildings and whatever the case may be. So our idea is to set up like an investment fund. So you technically don't have to be interested in any of these businesses at all. So there's an investment fund, you put money in it, and then we have people that invest in businesses on your behalf, and then you can get your returns or whatever it is that you want to do. But then if you want to then set up a business back home, there are policies that will ensure that, again, if you want to register a business, it's a very difficult thing to do. Now, there are caps in there that will tell you need $250,000 for you to register a business. I said to have a foreign partner, right? So in that policy, we're trying to do away with that, and then ensure that it makes it easier for people like yourself and myself from diaspora to be able to have a business partner, because we also believe that it's about trust. It's not always that you can leave here and come down to Ghana and then start up a business. Because again, starting up a business is not a joke. So you need to be able to know that whoever you're partnering with has the right credentials, can do it, but then you need a conducive environment. So that's what the policy is working on. Now, we're also setting up agencies that will work on investment. So there are 3 types of investments that we work with, right? Which is the quote unquote, and I'm going to use the word because kids are in the room, so we call them family and fools, right? Basically, family will give you money, or you can convince a fool to give you money, right? And then you've got your angel investors, then you've got your venture capitalists, right? But normally what you tend to find is the family and fools part. So you want to do a business and then you go and borrow money from your uncle or your auntie or whatever. Usually it doesn't end well. So we are looking ways in which we can set up angel investors and VC groups so that it will be easier for, let's say, if you went to agriculture, for example, and you're looking for 100,000, 200,000, or whatever the case may be, we can then introduce you to those people that will invest in your business, as opposed to you going to family and friends to then get the money from. So these are the kind of things that we are working on with my organization, and also with Ghana Hubs Network. What we do right now in Ghana, we have probably about 80 hubs, and the hubs are literally a space that you go to as an entrepreneur to get the support that you need to then set up your business at the basic level. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get all the hubs registered. We're trying to get a standard of operation, because again, credibility. I don't want a situation where, like the gentleman Alex over here, who's an accountant, right? He wants to come to Ghana to set up a business. His kind of services is more soft skill business, right? Now, we want to ensure that when he comes into the market, he has a soft landing situation. So we know hubs that might need his services. We know startups that might need his services. So the best way is he then contacts, let's say, Ghana Hubs Network and say, okay, I'm an accountant. I want to offer my service to startups in this particular region, let's say Brown Hartford or whatever. Do you know any hubs that I can work with? And then we can introduce him that way. So then it makes it easier. He already has a pool of potential businesses that he can introduce his services to. Because again, in business, you're either doing product or you're doing service. And product is a hard thing, and then service is the soft thing. And it's very hard usually when you do services. So those of you that are doing accountancy and consultancy and all of those kind of things, this is what the Ghana Hubs Network really exists to ensure that we can introduce you to businesses that need your services. And the beauty about that is the fact that now you're dealing with organizations that are registered, organizations that are working with the likes of NEIP, which is a government agency to train entrepreneurs. We are also training human capital because, like I talked about before, it's very, very important. People that work for you, they need to know the skills that you need in order for you to do your business. So that's what we do. So that's what iSpace does, give people technical skills, and then Ghana Hubs Network to ensure that businesses have a system or a support system so that when they move into the country, you know that, okay, if you want to move to Kumasi or whatever, this is where you can go. You can go and talk to this hub manager and he can help you do whatever it is that you need to do. So I'm looking forward to the Q&A and then talk about some of the pitfalls, things that you need to avoid. But yeah, Ghana is a great place to move to. Yes, you're going to have challenges, but I will definitely say do not wait till next year or year after, whatever. Just think about it now and then find better ways to kind of integrate yourself into the system. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to it.